Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about self-tapes. This is really geared more for actors. What a self-tape is it's an audition where the actors tape at home and then they send it to their team who sends it to the production team. So what I wanted to do is talk to you a little bit about what I do as a director or a producer when I'm seeing those self-tapes. And give you a little bit of advice about what I'd like to see, so it helps you out a little more as an actor. So the first thing is when you introduce yourself, let us know where you're from, where you're based out of, also your height, your rep information. Then second of all, try and do 2 takes on your self-tape, and definitely do them differently so that we see that you have a range. That's a really important thing. I wouldn't do a lot more than 2 because we only have a limited amount of time, and if we're looking at a lot of self-tapes, that adds up. But 2, at least 2 will give us a good idea of your range. Another thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your lighting is good. We want to be able to see you. So if you're standing in front of a window and you're silhouetted, I'm not going to be able to see your features. I'm not going to be able to see the emotion that you bring. So definitely make sure that your lighting's good. A lot of times actors are getting those little round lights that go around their camera. Those work great. But just make sure that you have enough light in the room. Then the other thing you want to do is give yourself a decent background, not something that has a lot going on. So if you have a solid wall or a solid piece of material that you can put behind you, maybe a green screen, that's a good thing to actually have as a background for yourself. The other thing is to shoot in a format that it's easy for us to see you. So that's like a 4.3 or a 16:9. What that means is that's the standard way you're going to see something. Some people actually do their self-tape on their cell phone, and so the way it shows up is it's a small skinny piece in the middle, and then off to the side it kind of goes off and it's useless. That's not a great way to show us your self-tape. So get whatever you need to as far as like a mount to actually mount your phone the correct way, and then send us that actual take that's going to look like the film. The other thing that you might want to do is really focus the audition on the space that you have. So what I mean by that is if you are doing a take and you're putting a lot of emotion and you're taking sort of the scene in, I'd like to see you use the space. So maybe you start back a little bit laid back, and then you want to get really intense in the scene, so you're going to get really up in my face because you're really intense. So see, I used a lot of the screen by just moving my body a bit. Now, if you don't want to do that, if you just want it to, read it, then actually, and I don't mean read it, do your audition, but standing still, then do it where I see more of a close-up of you, like how you see me right now, because I can see a lot more emotion in your eyes and in your face, as opposed to if you're way back at the back of the room. The other thing you want to do is make sure that you're giving us the best take you can give us. I've had many self-tapes where people send it in and they've forgotten lines in the script, or you can see there's a moment that they weren't as comfortable with, but they go on. And all I'm saying is you have the time to make the best self-tape you can, so send us that one. If you have limited time and you have to do it right away and you just can do like one take, maybe you're on vacation and you don't have access to facilities or whatever, that's a different story. We're a little bit more forgiving of that. But if you're in a studio and you're paying somebody to put it together for you, then take the little extra time to do it the best that you can do it. And then the only other thing I'd say is I would prefer you not to do improv in the dialogue of the script that you're doing, but where you can add a little bit of improv is maybe at the end. Maybe there's something that you can do to continue the scene a little bit, where you have an extra line or 2 that you throw in there that gives us a sense of where you would take the character, and it shows us some of your improv skills. So that's what I'd love to see in a self-tape as a director and a producer. Obviously, if you can meet all of those and you're right for the role, then you'll be getting a call back from us, and we may be giving you some feedback and asking you to do some redirects, which would be great. So I hope that helps you in well, first of all, for the actors to be able to do a lot better self-tapes, and then for you as a producer director to just know what you're looking at and to know the difference between someone that's doing a really professional job and one that needs a little bit more coaching.